Hey, fellow babies, welcome back to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. To our Patreon patrons and YouTube subscribers, thank you very much. That is keeping Shane in enough cash to produce this show. None of it's going to me, so don't feel bad. You are supporting the site so that Shane can produce all sorts of content, and we do appreciate it. If you have done those two things or not, still remember to link your Twitch Prime account to your Amazon Prime account. Amazon will pay us if you do that. Remember, you've got to re-up that every month or so. So if you're watching this and haven't done it in a while, please re-up that link, Twitch to Amazon Prime.
This episode of Pachter Factor is brought to you by DeShazer Ryan Realty. Right now, Doug DeShazer has beautiful lots available adjacent to Koocanusa Lake in northwest Montana. Pull up your RV and access the hookups, or build your own construction. Either way, you have access to world-class fishing, hunting, boating, swimming, biking, hiking, and the internet. No matter where you're looking to buy, make Doug DeShazer your real estate consultant at 406-291-1643. That's Doug DeShazer at 406-291-1643.
Okay, our question today from YouTube from Ryoga Hibiki. Is Gamescom now the de facto big video games event of the year now that E3 has failed to get anything off the ground? How will the lack of E3 affect other trade shows and the annual video game promotional calendar? Wow, good question. Yeah, E3, the ESA has massively fucked up. And I have spoken to now 5 ESA board members. And I don't even know how many there are, but that's a lot. And 5 for 5, they all think E3 needs to come back. 5 for 5, they all think it needs to be reinvented. So I think all of them were disappointed in the shift over to a consumer show. And it ended up making more work for all the developers, and it caused more angst among the developers because games just aren't ready in June. And not to say that they're ready in August, but they're 2 months more ready in August than they are in June. And so I think Gamescom is the de facto consumer show. I think that's right. I think E3 has to not be a consumer show. I think it has to go back to industry only. I don't think you necessarily need to show polished, finished versions of games. Retail is a lot smaller and less impactful now, but I think you still invite Target and Best Buy and Walmart. You still have those guys there. But I don't think the buyers need to be sold that Call of Duty's coming out, and order their copies. They're going to do it anyway. I think what's more important is make the buyers feel like they're part of the process and have them meet with the developers. So I think that much like movie promotion, you put the actors in a room and the press kind of cycles through, and they have these junkets where you get 5 minutes with the actor, and then you can run it on Access Hollywood, and you see Robert Downey talking about Oppenheimer or whatever. I think that's what E3 should become. I think that you should have all the developers show up. I think you should let all the media meet with them. I think you should have all the industry people that you care about, the retailers, meet with them. I don't think you need a big display space for games, but I do think it would be smart to have like an education track or something to make sure that people have a reason to be there. So I expect it's coming back. Now, they may do it and blow it again, and if they do that, then it's dead. I think they get one shot at it. If the board wants it and they keep it small, the problem they had when they tried to downsize it that one year was they moved it to Santa Monica, and it was terrible there. And then they moved it back to LA, but they did it in the convention center, and the convention center was empty and it was eerie. So what I think you do is you do it in LA, you just do it in hotel rooms, right? I mean, you can still do convention center space, but you can do like I said, education track, have like talks to, like have Kojima come and talk, or have Miyamoto come and talk, and you'll get 1,000 people or 5,000 people in a room to watch that. And I think that there's enough talent in the industry to attract a lot of attention, a lot of media attention, but don't invite fans. That's just a waste. I don't mind if you invite influencers, the people that are quasi media, that actually makes sense. But just having standard fans coming, and let Jeff Keighley run his show and have them parallel. Maybe put Jeff Keighley in charge of E3 and the education track, and the more intimate showing games or whatever. I think you can make that happen. So Summer Games Fest becoming the de facto operator of E3, that would be great. And I think that's a doable thing. I really do. I think if you let Keighley do it the way he wants to do it, by giving him the parameters of what you want to accomplish, it comes off. Anyway, Gamescom is for sure the consumer show of choice. Dean Takahashi today posted that he had to stand in line for something because they wouldn't recognize his press credentials. They don't know who Dean Takahashi is. That's hilarious. My name's German. Maybe they figure out who I am. Anyway, look, it's the video game promotional calendar began to get screwed up when EA pulled out of E3 and tried to do something competing across town. Then it got screwed up when Microsoft bought the Microsoft Theater, which I don't think they own anymore. It's now called the Peacock Theater, so I assume Microsoft's out of there. Microsoft pulled off the show floor. Then it really got screwed up when Sony pulled out altogether, because Sony is arrogant enough to believe that they can just do their own thing whenever they feel like it. And I think that's failed miserably. I think they used to get a lot more attention at E3. And now it's like, I don't think anybody could pick Jim Ryan out of a lineup where Jack Tretton used to get mobbed and Andy House used to get mobbed. I think it's dumb. It's bad for the industry not to have a showcase for all this stuff. So, look, I think that we need something. And Gamescom is good, but Germany's not the center of the universe. LA is. So I think they need to be back here, and they need to do it in June, and they need to do it right. So I think it's coming. I think we'll be okay. Thank you, Patreon patrons. Thank you, YouTube subscribers, for supporting Shane in his quest to keep the SIFTD site alive. This is important. Thank you if you have linked your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. Shane is getting paid for that, so thank you. You are supporting the site. If you are watching this a week late, that's because you didn't do any of those things. You can still link your Twitch Prime account to your Amazon Prime account. But you're required to follow me on the site formerly known as Twitter, at Michael Pachter.